Welcome in. It's our Friday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, brought to you by Lindsay and Associates, with locations in Fayetteville, also 2 locations in Rogers. It's also brought to you by Fun City, located in Springdale. It is also brought to you by Locomotion, located in Fayetteville, just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall. It's our A edition. We like to do this each and every Friday, and we're going to open it up with a little excitement. Arkansas just offered a big-time 2019 offensive tackle, and we're going to bring in Ira Henry of St.Loius, Missouri, Trinity Catholic High School. Big Ira, welcome to the Hill.
Well,
let's get off into it. How's recruiting going for you so far? I mean, college coaches was able to talk to Perspective or reach out to Perspective 2019 recruits September 1st. Who all have you heard from, and I mean that schools, and also who all's offered you so early in the recruiting process in this month of December, in September?
My offers are Illinois, Iowa, Syracuse, Bowling Green, Mizzou, and Lindenwood, and Arkansas. So my schools that's interested in me, I say like Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Kentucky, K-State.
Ira, what are you going to be looking for in your school of choice? I know you're going to have a lot of options as Arkansas on the list that you told me. It won't be the only schools that come after Big Ira Henry, but what will you be looking for in that school when it comes time time your senior year?
Well, when the times come, I'll be looking for like in my school, like a good football team. We don't have to say good or bad, but like a good football team like that. Cares about the players. They work as a team. And work as one, the coach cares about the players. And the school, like the academic wise, if they got business, study business or computer science.
Now you are.
The school is like a good environment.
You're being recruited by running backs coach Reggie Mitchell for the University of Arkansas. Talk about the relationship that you're just now starting to build. I know it's early in the process, but what are some things when you talk either by phone or direct message that Coach Mitchell is talking to you when it pertains to Arkansas?
Reggie, he was a good coach. Well, I met him like in person. He came up to my school last Friday, and he said I had the offer since Friday, but I didn't know they couldn't contact me. But he seemed like my high school coach now. Like he cares about. He knew more about me than I didn't even think he knew. And, he really knew. Like he knew about me already, so I could tell him to study about me.
Does that impress you, when coaches come in and show a genuine interest in you, first and foremost, off the football field, but as well as on the football field?
Can you say that again?
I said, does that interest you? Is that something that you really look at when coaches show that extra off-the-field interest and just not about Reggie the football player, but also, Ira the person?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, they do. Like that's real important to me because he already knew a lot of stuff.
Now, I know you mentioned Missouri, Ira. Do you get any pressure, or are you feeling any type of pressure to stay home and play for the state school, with that being the Missouri Tigers?
No, not really, because I got Mizzou and Illinois. But no, they're not trying to like I said, it don't matter if it's a far school or close, like a minute away from my house. Like, I just really like in a school that I can deal with. I can come in and make a big impact on the team, and like school-wise, like academic-wise, and the coach. I really look for meeting the coaches. That's what I really care about, because I can build relationships. If I build a relationship with the coach, I can build a relationship with the players.
Ira, I've watched your highlight reel, and I noticed you play a little defense as well. Are schools pretty much recruiting you to play offensive tackle, or if so, defensive the defensive side of the ball, or is it just whichever is going to suit you?
Well, the schools that I got offers from, they basically recruit me for the offensive line, offensive tackle, offensive guard. And the only school that ever said something to me about playing D-line is Kentucky. But they haven't even recruited. I can, like, when I show schools that I can play both sides, I'll play. They need to play both sides.
Talking with Ira Henry, big class of 2019 offensive tackle out of St. Louis, Missouri, Trinity Catholic High School. Now, if I come to Trinity Catholic on a Friday night, Ira, I'm going to get my popcorn because, you can't come to a game without getting popcorn. And I like my soda pop with no ice. I go to the very top bleacher in the stadium. What type of football player will I see in number 78, Ira Henry?
You will see, like, a savage, like a player that's trying to dominate every snap of the ball, a player that works as a team, picks the players up when they do something wrong. So I don't let my head down, and like I listen to my coach, and just ready to ball up.
Now, Matt, fourth down, 4th and 1. You got to have the play. Who's the ball running behind? Are you going to that coach and say, "Bring it behind me"? And if so, why do you feel that way?
Yeah, he gonna run behind me most definitely because, like, say if we down, it don't matter if we down or not. Like, I know I'm gonna fire off the ball and drive the defensive lineman down the field.
Now, Ira, the NCAA just recently, a few months ago, passed. Seniors, going into your senior year can sign early in the December period. Is that something that you're going to want to do this time next year, going into your senior year in December, or will it be a decision you're going to wait for that first Wednesday in February of 2019?
I really don't know if I'll commit before my senior year, but like I'm gonna drop the top schools and stuff. Like I don't have my mind made up yet. I'm just trying to go visit a lot of schools.
Now you told me when I asked you about watching NFL players, you don't necessarily watch players at the NFL level, but what collegiate offensive tackles do you most like to watch on Saturdays, maybe, and perform a little bit of what they do on Friday night?
Well, I kind of do, but I like the offensive lineman of Dallas. They got a good offensive lineman. They run blocking because Zeke got a lot of yards. I think they run block as good as anybody can. Anybody. What you say?
St. Louis is an area, I think, Ira, that is vastly underrated as far as high school football talent. When you look at a lot of programs, they're starting to come into that St. Louis area and recruit. Talk about the talent level that you face each and every Friday night and how that's going to best prepare you once you get to the Division I level, which is college football.
Can you say that one more time?
Talk about the competition that you play in the St. Louis area that's going to help prepare you for the next level. Because it's an underrated state, and in particular St. Louis. There's a lot of good high school football. How does that prepare you for when you do move on to the D1 level?
Yeah, it's a lot of competition already. In high school, it's a lot of competition. We a small school, but we go against top D1 school or top D1 players on the line and good pass rush. So it's helping me already, so I can be prepared for college and learn more in college.
Now I'm gonna mention
learn what I'm messing up at.
I'm gonna mention one word, and you tell me what it means to you. You just said it, savage. What does that word mean to Ira Henry?
A person that don't give up, a person that's greedy, want more, and just going all out for it.
Now I'm gonna. Can you tell the listeners, Ira, something that they may not know about Ira Henry that maybe you'd like to share?
I lost 40 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I can tell that. I can tell that I'm more mobile. I can get to the second line way faster and drive down the field way faster and move my feet way quicker, faster. I got faster. I think that really helped a lot.
Talking with Ira Henry of St. Louis, Missouri, Trinity Catholic High School. This segment is brought to you by Lindsay & Associates, located in Rogers, also located in Fayetteville. It's also brought to you by Fun City. That's located in Springdale, just off the 412 highway. And it's also brought to you by Locomotion and located in Fayetteville, just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall. If you don't get a chance to catch us here on our live stream, catch us on iHeartRadio as we podcast the best segment each and every day of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk. But I got one last question before I let you go, Ira. When football is done for Ira Henry, he'll be doing what afterwards?
I'd like to have a JFL team and like bring them to a high school, and I'd like to open my own shoe store and have a business degree also.
All right.
So, like, I'd like to stay doing something in football, either coach at a high school and like make them like top high school. That's not there.
Well, if you end up coaching like I've seen you play in so far, Ira, you're going to make a very successful coach, and you're just going to be a success at whatever you do. And I know you guys have a game tonight, so good luck. We're going to have you on a little later.
I canceled tonight.
Oh, man. Don't you just hate that?
They forfeit, yeah.
Well, hey, you have a blessed weekend. Enjoy football, and we'll bring you back on here in a couple of weeks if we can do that.
All right, you too.
All right, Ira. Thanks for taking time out on the Hill.
All right, thanks for having me.
That was Ira Henry, 2019 offensive tackle, Arkansas offensive tackle. He's got an Arkansas offer just this past week from Reggie Mitchell, Coach Bielema, and that entire offensive staff. Demetrius, when you hear the young man speak, what sticks out to you about this interview with Ira Henry from St. Louis Trinity Catholic?
He just seems like he has that mentality that we were kind of talking about yesterday that we kind of needed, especially on the offensive line and particularly tackle. Just that aggressive nature to really want to go out and dominate their man. Just the way the description he kind of gave us, just with the mentality of being a savage. You want that in a trench hog. I believe he can start that. He can start to right that ship on that Arkansas offensive line. So I'm really eager to see him come on campus and really get out here and do some things for the University of Arkansas.
Is he the type of offensive lineman that, if he does choose Arkansas, do you think he would be one of those type of guys with the mentality, that he spoke of that Arkansas really needs? Because it's obvious Arkansas has to have a little bit more aggression in their front five. Do you think that this guy could be one of those, years on down the road that could possibly even be a face of the offensive line here for the Razorbacks?
Definitely, just looking at him, I got to start playing the highlight films again and stop with the pictures. But if you guys check out his highlight film, he really reminds me of Denver Kirkland, a guy that really can be the anchor and that bring that physicality nature that, Brett Bielema really defines, his Wisconsin team and kind of, imagines his Arkansas team being. So I'm really eager for him to come down here and see what he can do.
Well, we're going to step away. We're going to play you a little audio. We had a chance to catch up with a couple offensive and defensive players in their midweek press conference, and we caught up with Cheyenne O'Grady, sophomore tight end, and then in our third segment, we're going to have Carter the Power Bryant of 107.1. He's going to give us his take on Arkansas, and he also, too, covers the University of LSU for SEC Country. He does podcasts. We're going to have him on the third segment, but we'll be back in a moment. Here's what CJ had to say during the break.
We came off a tough loss, obviously. Tough game. But we're starting to move past that, starting to get our minds on A&M.
Bielema said he's kind of narrowed the first team tight ends to 3. Is that kind of helping you all get more reps and everything?
It's really been the same. We try to create fresh legs, so if somebody gets tired, we'll have another person come in. So it's been the same.
Brett said one of his messages was that you guys don't have to go out and be Superman. You just need to go play like you practice. What you feel like the team's taking that in stride?
Right. It all comes down to just doing your job. If you start worrying about other people's assignments, you're going to get thrown off. So if you do your own job and you do what you know you can do, we'll be fine.
Greg said you guys did some one-on-ones yesterday.
Who?
Greg Greenlaw was saying that. How much is that? A lot of times at this stage of the season, you're always going to the scout team. Of course, you guys got an open day. How much does that help when you're trying to work on some things to go one-on-one?
It helps us because it's game speed. It's real looks. Sometimes scout team doesn't go hard 100%. So when we're going ones versus ones, it gives us that feel, that game-like feel. So that helps us tremendously.
Yeah, being a hometown kid, is it hard to to not hear some of the noise out there from fans. They're disgruntled with the way last year ended, and then they all thought, Arkansas beat TCU and it didn't happen. Or kind of what's been the feel?
We try to just avoid that, kind of just stay focused, because if we start listening and giving in to what the fans say, it's going to really throw us off. And at the end of the day, we got to just focus. And if we're down, we got to keep going. We can't keep.
Guys your age are very, into Twitter. I don't even know how. Is it hard not to avoid some of that stuff?
I mean, as an individual, I don't really even look at it. I choose not to. It's just because I don't really believe in listening or letting that get to my head. Other people might, but I just, as an individual, I don't even acknowledge it.
What do you think? What do you think your start so far? He's had, I think, 4 targets and 4 catches.
Right. I'm just trying to do whatever I can do to help the team. When I'm putting a game, I'm going to play to the best of my ability. I'm going to play hard and try to bring energy for the offense and defense. So. How do you feel like you're coming along as a blocker? They want you to be out there. I'm getting there. I'm still struggling a little bit, but I'm getting there. As practice goes, I've definitely come a long way, but yeah, I'm getting there.
Goal line, you feel there's any mental block with this team? I mean, it's they had the same struggles last year as they did against TCU. Ooh. Getting on the goal line,
I'm sorry.
Oh. You got to do it
one more time.
Just on the goal line, I mean, do you feel the team's got a mental block about that, or is it just something, a hurdle to get over?
Goal line, I mean, I feel like we're there. It's just like one person will not do their assignment, and that's what's holding us back. One person will not make the right play or the right assignment, and it'll mess up the whole play. Because if one person's wrong, we're all wrong. And so when that one person doesn't do their job, it kind of messes up the play. But other than that, I think we're there. It's just that individual person, that guy. So.
And you said in camp you're kind of trying to change your approach, the way you did things. How do you feel like that's coming along for you?
I've been locked in. That's why I'm getting opportunities. I feel like. I'm still growing as a player and a student athlete. I'm still growing as a man as well. I think I'm getting there. I'm on the right path.
With Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. This segment is brought to you each and every day by Lindsay and Associates with locations in Rogers. Locations also too in Fayetteville. This segment is also brought to you by Locomotion. Looking for a place to take the kids? Locomotion is the place to be. It's located in Fayetteville, just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall. And we also too want to let you know this segment is also brought to you by Fun City, located in Springdale, just off the 412 highway. If you're in Springdale looking for a time, try Fun City out. Lots and lots of games for the kids as well. And also, if you don't get a chance to catch us here on our live stream Monday through Friday up on the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk, you can listen to our top segment each and every day on iHeartRadio as we podcast daily. The top segment on iHeartRadio up on the Hill with Pat Jenkins. And as we were going to break, we let you guys hear a little audio from sophomore tight end Cheyenne O'Grady, CJ O'Grady, whichever you prefer. And Demetrius says we were listening to the audio. Cheyenne talked about his growth, talked about just one player, when the question was, brought to him about the mental block inside the red zone. What do you take from Cheyenne's, press conference that we were so privy to attend last night?
I really don't know what to make of his comments, I just feel, I hope they do what's best for the young men to get them better. Because, I would think that the scout team would be a little bit more, helpful than a one-on-one. Because, one, you're getting multiple looks versus just that one-on-one look of just that one man you might be blocking. Or or so on. So I just feel like you'll get more of a realistic look with the scout team now. I think Brett Bielema would benefit putting maybe some of his third stringers instead of just straight scout guys out there. Maybe that's time where they can get guys with youth some more reps in practice, getting them to play that scout team. So I don't know. I just think it's a coaching issue there that they just have to find a better way to be a little bit more efficient. What do you take of O'Grady's words?
I really feel like O'Grady, spoke real honestly, real candidly about, his growth as a football player, things that he has to work on, because I've always felt like as soon as Cheyenne becomes the total package, and that is blocking. We all know tight ends have to put their hand down occasionally and, get real physical with defensive fronts, in particular defensive ends. When he's able to accomplish that, I think Cheyenne can be the type of tight end that Coach Brett Bielema, Coach Danny knows, Barry Lunny, and that entire offensive staff envision him to be. You look at his makeup. He's about 6'5", 260 pounds. I mean, that's a prototypical tight end that has a chance to excel at the next level. But I just think, he's got to be a little more physical. I agree with that assessment. And just be a little bit more locked in. Sometimes being a young tight end, and Coach Brett Bielema mentioned it in his earlier week press conference, I believe we attended on Monday. Sometimes, when you don't get a lot of reps, it just takes time to grow. You have to go through that maturation process, and I think that's what CJ's going through. I know with 4 attempts, 4 catches, he's very productive. And, Dan Eno said it as well in his midweek press conference that we were at earlier in the week. They intend to get Cheyenne more, as well as Jeremy Patton, involved in the game plan, because I think those two can be real X factors for this offense and kind of alleviate some of the things that they're having issues with at both the tackle spots. I think if you integrate Cheyenne a little more to go with Jeremy Patton, you're going to be a very, very productive offense. And also too, I think he does show a little bit more being more locked in. Sometimes coming out as a freshman, a high school kid, you're one of the big dogs on campus, and it is kind of an adjustment period to realize, hey, I'm a 4-star going to a school with a bunch of 4-stars, and there's other guys that are on the same team that were, the big man on campus at their respective high schools. So I see a lot of that growth within CJ.
So Pat, just kind of looking from the past 2 games, from what you've seen from the players, who are the go-to players on offense? Just with the way Jay Red played last week, not saying he's going to continue that streak, but who are the offensive playmakers that you see right now kind of emerging and making yourself known as the guys that Austin needs to really get the ball to?
Well, I think right now just in the receiving core, Jonathan Nance, until I see some other receivers come to the forefront and prove that they are worthy enough to be counted as a go-to guy. It would have to be number 7, Jonathan Nance, based on the production. I also think I should recount that a little bit. I think Gerard Barnes showed a little flash in his debut, true freshman versus FAMU. I think he could be a guy that maybe Austin and that offensive staff, Danny, could really count on. I'm 100% can say with conviction, I think that CJ, I think Austin Cantrell, and I think Jeremy Patton are going to eventually be the most productive position on this football team for this offense this year going forward. I think, Chase Hayden, Devois Whaley, and David Williams. So you have, about 6 or 7 guys that you're going to have to go to. Unfortunately, you got to get a little more production out of your wide receiver, but until they show, that they're willing to have their number called and they're going to step up and produce, you have to go, I think, really to the running backs, the tight ends, and just a single wide receiver, with that being Jonathan Nance, based on the production he's had. Now, Demetrius, Coach Bielema and Dan Enos both mentioned something that I thought was really interesting that sometimes goes overlooked. If you look at that wide receiver corps, they've had a lot of, nagging injuries, both in spring camp and fall camp, to where they hadn't been able to get a real good cohesion. Is that something that you think really hurts this team? Because Brandon Martin was out this past TCU game. Then, he spoke on T.J. Hammond's being out periodically for a few weeks during fall camp. Jay Red, we talk about his experience, and he knows football, but he had been out all of spring and, for the most part, the duration of fall camp. How much of an impact do you think that's having with Austin getting that cohesion and chemistry with that wide receiver group?
I think it's huge because, really I think the X factor on the offensive side of the ball, receiver-wise, is Brandon Martin, a guy that's they've been saying had a few back issues and the hamstring that's kind of been nagging him. So I'm really eager to see how he gets in the mix of things once he gets on field, because he's a big receiver that I think is really going to let them open up that wide receiver package, bringing out those trips, bringing out those 5 wide receivers and flexing out O'Grady. I think he's that guy that's really going to make teams really double team him because of his speed and size. And he has such great hands, and he's just a physical presence once you see him line up on the receiver side of the ball. He just looks like a guy that you have to kind of give attention to when you're talking about scheming for the offense.
Well, we had a chance to catch up with Dre Greenlaw. We're going to play a quick tidbit of what Dre had to say, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back on the other side with Carter, the Power Bryant. We're going to get his take on Arkansas, and also to get his take on the Mississippi State LSU football game. But here's what Dre had to say.
Before you got her against Alabama, just what did it feel like to play? I know they kind of limited you against Florida A&M. What was it like to play a full game like that?
Man, it felt good, just the energy from the crowd, and the way that we were feeling on defense, and just to be able to go out there with my brothers and play a full game and finish the game. Came short, but just to be able to be out there with them and be able to go out there and compete with them, it felt great.
He had 17 tackles. That was a career high. I know it was a tough loss, but how'd you feel like you played overall?
Overall, I felt like I did pretty good. There was a lot of things that I could have done better. I did miss a few tackles that and Coach emphasized this week on just making sure that we were, good on tackling and make sure we were communicating. So, I felt like I could have done better in that regard. But I felt for the first time playing a full game and being out there, I felt like I did pretty good.
I think Vernon said in preseason you kind of have to play your way into shape after, missing spring ball and being limited in camp. Do you feel like you're in game shape now? Or what was it like physically playing all those snaps against a high-tempo team?
It felt pretty good for the most part. I do need to get in shape for the most part too, also. And I think, like Coach said, it's just going to come with the season. I missed all the spring and just about all the fall. So kind of that game shape kind of just goes in with practice and preparation and game day. So it's just going to but it'll eventually catch up. So, but for the most part, my stamina and I felt pretty good on the field.
How was the 3-4? How did that feel?
It felt good. Just like any other new defense, going in, you got to just learn it and learn what you're doing. And I think once you get what you understand what you're doing and where to go, I think the rest of it just kind of just take care of itself.
After having a tough losses, kind of what's the team's mindset on these last few days?
Really, the main thing is I felt like as a team, I felt like we could have finished better, especially on the defense. Just giving up those last 2 touchdowns in the red zone. I felt like we thought we had played so good up to that point, and it kind of just fell off. I feel like we all think as a team that we just need to go out there and finish in the fourth quarter, and I think that's really what we've been emphasizing on throughout all fall camp and in the spring is just finishing and straining to finish. So, yeah.
Seemed like a defense. You guys didn't give up a whole lot of yards for this day and age to a tempo team, 360 something, but the third down was kind of tough. I think they converted 10 of their first 12.
Yeah.
It's kind of what do you guys need to do to shore that up?
Really, in order to stop the third down, we just got to do better on first and second down. I know a lot of their third downs were like 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2 and stuff like that. So if we do better on first and second down and stop them from getting, that 4 or 5, 6-yard gains, and then and be able to limit those, our third down percentage would be a lot better.